is October 20th. It's episode 5 of Templin Acres Adventures Weekly Recap. Another busy week for us as always. I'm going to continue with the video log style format, just going through videos that I've collected throughout the week. But I wanted to show you one of our projects for the week that didn't go quite according to plan. So this giant hole goes about, 4 foot down around this entire stump. This stump was supposed to be an easy pull out. It's an old ash tree that fell down the year that we got the place. Thought sure, it'd be ready to come out. Obviously, it isn't ready. So now we need to decide what we're gonna do to continue forward. Got a nice mound of dirt here that we took out of the hole. And a nice pile of rocks over here that we also took out of the hole. And now we just need to figure out what we're gonna do to continue.
Harvest season is continuing on, and the neighbors that run the property just right across the road from us were able to get their field out this week. It's a pretty big operation, as you can tell, and they were able to get this large field out in just a matter of hours and hauled off the field. The only downside to all this land opening up is that there's nothing left to stop the winds. There's a lot less tree lines than there used to be, and when the wind gets whipping, there's really nothing to stop it. We had some pretty windy days this week because of the warm front that came through. We had some southern winds that brought some nice warmer temperatures, but we had to deal with wind. Fortunately, we didn't have any issues with any branches breaking or anything like that. It was more of an annoyance more than anything. But as you can see, the wind was just whipping the smaller trees around this week. And even on the other side of the property, you could really get a good view of how much dust is getting kicked up in the atmosphere when the wind comes through. And this happens quite often when the ground is not covered in plants. Really appreciate that ground having some sort of cover on it. It keeps the dirt in place. But this week we had to deal with some wind and some dust, but nothing we couldn't handle. Update on the rabbits. These are the lion heads that I talked about last week. They are looking good. We will evaluate these for show quality here in a few weeks, and the other ones will be sold as pets after they are weaned. New Zealand's are another case. These are either show or they go into our meat program. So this is a first-time mom, and we will have to evaluate these as they age out. Currently, I'm trying to work on another video talking more about why we raise rabbits, but I wanted to give you a quick glimpse here. So this is about 6 days of age, and the rabbit behind is 6 weeks. So they're about 5 weeks apart, and you can see the massive growth rate on those New Zealands. But we did get the rest of the rabbits bred back that did not kindle this time. So we should be looking for new babies again next month. Isn't that Harlequin adorable? Last week I talked about getting my salsa all canned up. I'm happy to have the shelves full again. Believe it or not, they're not as full as most years, but I do try to make enough so that I have 2 years worth of inventory. So this year we are a little light. We do have stuff on the shelves still from last year, which is fantastic. I always try to do that just so that I can make up for years like this year. But definitely have some canned goods. No one's going to starve to death. Not as many jellies as I normally would make, and I did not get any sweet corn either this year canned up. So those are things I'll have to buy. But all in all, we still have quite a bit on the shelf, and we're looking good going into winter. I do have one more item I need to can that I kind of forgot about because it's still in the ground. I got to get my carrots dug and pressure canned, hopefully this week. Since I was processing all that salsa, I made sure to save my seeds. I had these drying on paper towels for the last week and a half or so, and now I bag them up and label them so I don't forget what they are, because pepper seeds all look alike. So anything that was randomly on the counter, I just swept to the garbage so I don't have mystery seeds, hopefully in the spring. Quick update again, Ruby is still doing fantastic. Her and Opal are all back together and doing great, and they even have an additional friend because Jerry's hanging out with them. This week we ended up getting some time away from the homestead. Daniel really wanted to go fishing, so we took an afternoon off and went to the lake, and then we ended up actually going again the next morning, just to spend some time with them getting some fishing done before the snow flies. We also had to do some other kid projects this week, and those, they do take priority for us. We had to do an emergency hair dye to get some color corrected for my stepdaughter, and then we got a propane line dug in the ground here before winter for my daughter. So very busy week as always, but we did take some time to get some fishing done, and we actually didn't get skunked. Daniel caught himself a nice little yellow-bellied bullhead, and he was super excited for that. The goats are anxiously awaiting the start of breeding season. The goal for this coming week is to get everybody separated out into their winter pens. And back to the project that I thought would be much easier than it was. So we had this lovely ash tree, and we took apart all of the rocks. That was actually a very large pile. That's load number 2. And we dug down to try to get all of the rocks separated out and away from this so that eventually we can actually grow some nice lawn there. But as much as my husband tried, this project did not go as I thought it would in my head. He did his best to get it dug out with the bobcat. He went around and around that entire stump, loosening and breaking all the roots that were still in the ground. But as much as he tried, that stump does not want to budge. We're coming up with a plan B right now. But I'm thinking now that the dirt is knocked away, what we may end up doing is just chainsawing the stump down further and then re-leveling the ground over the top. It will sink as the stump rots away, but I think short of hiring somebody out to chip up that stump, I think that's our best option. I really don't want to go any deeper than what he has gone already. It's really quite deep. So I'm thinking that's what plan B is, but we haven't quite decided there yet. As always, the dogs are always helping. They want to be right wherever we are. And that is my lovely Bella. She is my one-eyed breeder reject puppy that we got for free many years ago now. She only has one eye, but she does just fine with that. Eventually the stump's got to come out, right? There he goes. He's going down. I guess 6 years isn't enough to let it sit. And since we're currently in a burn ban, my pile of brush to burn is getting very big. So I have a feeling when we do get to burn, I'm going to have to start a new pile and then take stuff out of this pile to burn in the other pile because I don't want it to be too big.
Thanks for watching. As always, can't wait to talk to you guys all again next week. If you like what you saw, please hit like and subscribe.
You are free, you little one. Go play with your Coming. They're coming.